Hi, today we are looking at a character you may or may not be very familiar with. His name is Zacchaeus, and he's a wealthy guy who comes seeking Jesus out. So let's read in the scripture. We're looking at the Gospel of Luke, chapter 19, verses 1 through 10. Entering Jericho, Jesus passed through the city. There was a wealthy person there named Zacchaeus, the chief tax collector. Zacchaeus was trying to see who Jesus was, but he couldn't do so because of the crowd, since he was short. In order to see Jesus, Zacchaeus ran on ahead, then climbed up the tree that was along the route. And when Jesus came to that spot, he looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, hurry up and come on down. I'm going to stay at your house today." And Zacchaeus quickly climbed down, welcomed Jesus with delight. And when everyone saw this, they began to grumble. "Oh, Jesus has gone to a sinner's house as a guest." And Zacchaeus stood his ground and said to Jesus, "Here and now I give half of my belongings to poor people. If I've defrauded anyone in the least, I'll pay them back fourfold." Jesus said to the tax collector, "Today salvation has come to this house, for this is what it means to be a descendant of Sarah and Abraham. The promised one has come to search out and save what is lost." The late Fred Craddock, a New Testament scholar, in his book, Luke, Interpretation and a Bible Commentary for Teaching and Preaching, he says, here in this case of Zacchaeus, his being saved refers to a conversion, to be sure, but not in any private sense. Not only in his household is his household involved, but also the poor, who will be beneficiaries of his conversion, as well as those whom he has defrauded. His salvation, therefore, has personal, domestic, social, and economic dimensions. In addition, we should not forget that in other stories, saved is translated as made well, healed, and made whole. Luke would object to confining the word to a condition of the soul only. The whole life is affected by Jesus' ministry, a foretaste of the complete reign of God. So this raises a lot of questions. Just one tidbit of information before we launch into a few questions is that in Jewish law, restitution, to make something right, especially when it had something to do with money, would be you would pay that person back the original funds taken or exploited or defrauded, plus 1/5 more. So what Zacchaeus does is offers 4 times the amount for his reparations, and he is exceeding even the generous Jewish law, which would add more on top of that, add to the money that should be returned to make what is right. So what do you think converts his greed into radical generosity? How might we, too, unravel our finances and our spending practices from systems that oppress and defraud others? What does it look like to transform our own greed into generosity? Just some things for us to think about as we read the Word, as we come to discussion on Sunday morning. So have a blessed time of contemplation and soul searching.